you can pretty much play any random note together, with a few exceptions, and that exception is split this down the middle, left to right. You don't want to do the ones that every scale is different. We'll go through it. The ones that are across from each other, directly across, are dissonant with each other. They're only half steps apart, some of them. Yeah, it just kind of doesn't sound sweet, does it? Now, those two sound all right. Let's see, they're at least a full step. But if you play ones that are next to each other, generally they sound well together. They're harmonious. So basically, so if you're just randomly doing stuff, I like to go one hand high, one hand low, or other than that, I always alternate hands, but I don't always play. Sometimes I keep my hand moving. Sometimes it just give a little slap. I use my fingernail in the middle, get that tick. The ticks sound different if you play on the shoulder between the notes. It's all worth exploring. Sometimes if you're playing one chord and you're going to move over to the next chord, you may find that it sounds better if while you're playing this one, you mute. A lot of times I'll mute with just my palm, or I'll lay my arm over. And whatever was ringing, if it's dissonant with the next chord that you're playing, then it's just not going to sound as good. So palm muting certain notes is kind of part of it. It becomes another one of those things that in time it'll just become natural, and you'll just automatically, if you're playing something, you'll know, okay, when I play this chord, this note, and I'm just giving a random. On this particular drum, I'm not. This drum is actually pretty good about not doing that. Some of the other drums, I have certain scales that I have to really work at palm muting. And that's one of the things I like about the Oxalis is it's a very there's not a lot of dissonance within the scale. That's a good thing. I have one drum that I can play Amazing Grace on. And every song that I play on that drum, I basically just play one-handed because I'm constantly having to mute. But you don't have to worry about that with this drum. As far as care goes, you've got the frog lube. The inside I have coated with WD-40. I don't know if you have WD-40 there. It's just a penetrating oil, rust preventative. I soak these things down really good with WD-40 and let that absorb into the metal. And that, so far, I've been at this for several years now, and so far I haven't had any issues. I keep my drums indoors and climate controlled. As long as you do that, I make sure I have clean hands when I play. Sweat is your enemy. Sweat on the drum. If you're sweating and you're playing, you'll want to clean your drum off and oil it. Depending on how much I play it, oil it just depending on, you'll kind of get an idea just by looking at it. When it's oiled, it looks nice and shiny. When you play it, it kind of starts getting dull. Um, I would oil it just by appearance. Like I said, that bottle of frog lube should last you a decade at least. It goes a long way. A little goes a long way. The inside should be good. If you want to, occasionally, maybe every 2-3 years, spray some WD-40 inside there. I don't recommend WD-40 on the outside because it's not good on the hands. But it should be good. This is all, the coloration that I get is all through heat treatment, and the heat treatment helps in reducing the oxidation of the metal. So between the heat treatment and the frog lube and the WD-40, we're pretty good. I haven't had any trouble. Personally, I haven't, but I have sold the drum to somebody who never oils their drum, and they take it camping with them and pass it around the campfire, and everybody's sweaty and out in the humid next to the river, and their drum got rusty pretty quick. Very sad. I really liked that drum. But hey, it is, I have I actually have some of my first prototypes out rusting in the garden. So if you want to, if they get so dirty that I don't want to just oil them, I actually want to clean them. I use rubbing alcohol first. And after the rubbing alcohol evaporates, then I go ahead and put on the oil. If you want to use sticks, there is a kind of a drumstick with rubber tips. I don't have that. I don't remember what they are. ProMark. I could get that to you. I bought them from Musician's Friend. They're about 20 bucks. I ended up cutting them down so they're smaller. I prefer playing them with my fingers. I have more control. You might try pencils with the eraser. Pencil erasers might work. I prefer using the hand. I have a lot more control with the hand. I'm trying to think. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, I would just start slow. Build speed. So there I'm skipping my accents. That's a technique I use a lot. A lot of these things, I've been playing music my whole life, and I play a lot of different instruments, and so a lot of these things, at a certain point, music is music, and you pick up a lot of little things, and I don't know, I'm not a very good teacher, I'm sorry. Just do it. is my recommendation. Just spend some time with it. You will notice a little thing that you might want to play around with. So let me go ahead and explain to you the notes. This is an E, starting in the 1 position. So I count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's E, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, E, G sharp, A, and B. So you have 4 of those notes you have twice, one in a higher octave. And sometimes some cool stuff happens. So the E, it's called a sympathetic vibration. I have the overtones tuned in to each one of these notes. So that octave is this note is actually embedded within this note. So when you play that, it vibrates that one. And you can so then you go up to the G sharp, and it's this one. B. Only the higher note does that because that tone is embedded within this one, but this deep tone is not embedded in that one. But it's kind of fun to play around with. You get a little wah-wah effect.